Brothers and sisters of the celestial energies, brother wisdom. All right, we're going to talk about physics. What is physics? All right, because I told you, High Prince CBA, High Prince Sima Batur Anu. This channel here is all about physics, mathematics, dimensions, energies. This is what we're talking about here because it's all about bringing us up. All right, let's get right into it. Physics. I got me a little cheat sheet here because I can remember all this stuff here. All right, it's a lot to remember. What is physics? Physics is a branch of science concerned with the nature and properties of matter and energy. The subject matter of physics, distinguished from that of chemistry and biology, includes mechanics, heat, light, and other radiation. You see, light and other radiation. So light is a part of radiation. Sound, electricity, magnetism, and the structure of atoms. And I broke it down to try to make get physics more. Let's see. Physics is used to describe the physical universe around us and to observe the new energies form and evolve. Okay, and to observe how energy forms and observes. Okay, and evolves. I'm sorry. So that's something important for us to understand. All right, we're talking about physics and matter. We understand what physics is. Okay, this definition, like I say, I'm reading on the sheet here because I had to make some cards here so I can read it off to you guys because I can't remember all this stuff here. There's a lot of stuff to remember. Okay, let's see here. We talked about this. It talks about matter, and we got to understand what matter is. Okay. Matter is any physical material in the universe. Everything is made of matter. Okay. Everything is made of matter. And see, you got to understand physics. This is the science of the gods. All this stuff came from us. Okay, there are 7 branches of physics. All right. The first one is mechanics. And mechanics is dealing with motion. And it causes interactions between objects. Okay, that's what mechanics is all about. Other branch is thermodynamics, which deals with heat and temperature. You have vibrations and waves, which is dealing with the properties of motion, pendulums, sound. Optics, which is deal with lights, lenses, and colors. Also, mirror images, which is also a part of optics. You have electromagnetism, which is dealing with electricity and magnetism. You have relativity, which is dealing with particles moving at any speed, including extremely high rates of speed. And you got quantum mechanics, which is the behavior of submicroscopic and subatomic particles. Okay, this is what physics is all about. All right, this is what physics is all about, and this is physics is the science. All right, you got to understand science, the study of God, the study of the gods, the study of energy, the study of light. This all the magnetism. This is what science is all about. So this is what physics is. Physics is the science of the gods. This is something that belongs to us. That's why I made that post on my Facebook, and I made the post on the YouTube channel on the Remedy H YouTube community channel. I made the post. I'm like, physics, this is the science of the gods. This is the ancient science of the God that belonged to us. And why is it that we refuse to return to physics? There was someone who posted a video under it, and it was talking about how this God forgot who he was. Came down and said, I want to be, it came down and took the form of a pig. All right. came down and took the form of a pig and began wallowing, and then end up the other gods ended up had to come and kill the pig to get his soul out of the pig so that he could realize that, you know, he lost himself. So many of us have lost ourselves in society. All right. We've lost ourselves in society, and we're, you know, all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins, you know, the dead presidents. And I don't know why they call Benjamin dead president, because Benjamin Franklin was never a president. But just a little innuendo to stick in there. But the whole point is that we have lost ourselves in society, and all that society has offered us is against the laws of physics, is against science. Okay? All the stupidity, the shoes, the clothes, the job positions, all this stuff here, it means nothing. It literally means nothing. Everything that we must be about is physics. All right? You know, building stuff. You know, our ancestors were always in a mode of creation. You know, that's how we were able to tune our bodies into hyper powerful energies that belong to us, because we were in tuned with the dynamics of the cosmos and the universe, because the universe and the cosmos is all about physics. All right, that's what's in the universe, that's what's in the cosmos, and we must also be about that same type of knowledge. We must also take on the knowledge of the gods. All right, this is important for us to follow, because we literally have been bamboozled and hoodwinked, like Brother Malcolm X said, into thinking that we can be something that society has created and still ascend. No, the only way to ascend is to literally link into physics. Let's see how this works, and let's see how that works, and what makes this do this right here. Well, let's do this right here. This is all about physics. You know, when you're dealing with, you know, when I'm building and creating a structure, that's physics. All right, because I'm going dimensional. You know, I'm going. You know, I'm measuring and cutting, and you know, that's a part of the physics. You know, physics goes deep. All right, they gave you seven branches, and that's why I was reading from dictionary, Wikipedia, and all. But physics goes deeper than just what we read. All right, physics goes deeper, but we're talking about matter. And what's the most important matter on the planet right now? The most important matter on the planet right now is our melanin. All right, it's our melanin and our carbon-based bodies. All right, because in order for us to measure physics, we must use the most powerful physical proportion that is out here, and that's our melanin. So that's why our ancestors were constantly in meditation. They were doing Tai Chi. They were building and creating. They were opening up their minds. They were going into higher dimensional realms. All right, and the high dimensional realms was all exercised through the studying of different things: electrons and protons, neutrons, quarks, subatomic particles. You know, we were already into that study, and we fell off. And this is the importance of physics. This is the importance of the importance of returning to the science of the gods, returning to who we are. This is not hard for us to learn. It's not difficult at all. It's actually easy, because when you expand your mind, you can literally see what the definition is saying. Optics, dealing with light. All right, different forms of light. We were already created. You know, I remember the brother talking to me, and I'm seeing the documents of when these mankind beings were walking along the Mississippi River and came to that temple, and they walked inside that temple, and they the room automatically illuminated, and there were lights everywhere. All right, there were lights everywhere. So you're talking about we were already into physics, and they were like, how did these primitive people have such great technology? Why did they call us primitive? Why were they always talking down on us when they knew nothing, and we had to teach them everything? So you had to understand that your enemies will always try to make you feel like you're lesser than them. The key point is you don't have to prove yourself to them. You have to prove yourself to yourself. We have nothing to prove to anyone else but ourselves. So you going into physics and you linking into the nature of science, the nature of energy, the nature of sound, radiation, motion, proportions. You know, when you linking into these different areas of science, this is physics. This is physics. When you're talking about geometry, you're dealing with matter. You're dealing with the different shapes, which means that each shape, or each line of the shape, has a different frequency. All right. You remember I did the video on dimensional shapes, and then inside of each shape is a dimension, and that dimension is expelling frequencies. All right, and vibrations. You know, you're dealing with portals. Portals is part of physics. You're talking about light and sound and movement and motion, and how can I go through this portal? Building and creating, linking into what really matters, and it's ourselves. Going deep into ourselves to find ourselves so that no one else can turn us against ourselves. And that's the whole key point. Getting back into the laws, the nature of physics. All right, and the seven basic principles of physics are the laws of physics. You know, and the thing about it is this is what we ran on, because we were so busy creating and building, we didn't have time to want to fight with each other, because we were always building. Because like we said before, we were turning our planet into a universal power station, where other beings within our universe, within our galaxy, within our solar system could come to our planet, get resources, get whatever else they need, knowledge or whatever else, because we had some of the most knowledgeable masters here on the planet. And they would get whatever they need so that they can return back to their home and make their home greater. See, the thing about energy, the thing about energy is a part of physics. And energy never dies. What does energy do? Energy becomes greater. But when you have literally linked yourself into the nature of society, which is literally a virus, you have caused your energy to become stagnant, which means that you do not grow and you keep going through the same motions. You're actually just like the virus. The virus has taken over the body, and your body is a host, and you're going through the same old loop over and over again as that virus has created. And therefore you can't think of anything on higher plane, because now you're thinking like that virus. You must let society go. You must see things the way they are and not for what you want them to be. And once you see things for the way they are, then you begin to change the surroundings in your area. Therefore, when you change the surroundings in your area, you begin to link into a higher knowledge. That's when you begin to build and you begin to bridge that gap that has been set upon us by mankind and society. All right? The money, the things, the job positions, the cars, the clothes, the hair, all those things don't matter. When you look at our ancient ancestors, what were we doing? We were always talking about physics, relativity, properties, matter, subatomic particles. We were talking about space and time. We were talking about sound. We were talking about different waves. We were talking about vibrations. We were always working on things. You see, we put it on the walls everywhere. We created light. We created the machines like what you see on Star Wars. Those were our machines that we created. That's just not science. That's just not fiction. That's science that we created. We knew the vibrations and frequencies of the different gases, and knew every gas had a different vibration, a different frequency. Each gas had a different type of energy. So we created machinery that ran on gas and the different gases. So these gases, literally, we put them in the machines that we created. Some was out of wood, some was out of crystal, some was out of stone, some was out of metals, and those machines would glide upon the surface of the planet with those gases that we created. Now this is the nature of who we are. This is the nature of what we did, and this is the nature of how we must return. Physics is the ancient science of the gods, and we are the gods of this world. If you want to say it like that, we're the gods of this world. We are nature. We are everything, and we must return to the natural mindset, or the original mindset of our ancestors. That's why it's important for us to build and create. You know, when we made our clothes, and you see those clothes with the different shapes and colors on there, that was not just clothing. We were literally writing physical properties on the clothes. Each one of them represented a different frequency and a vibration. Each color has its own vibration and frequency. All right? You see the green light, that green light has a frequency. It has a vibration. So when we made those clothing and we knitted the triangle and the square and the diamond and the octagon and we put a little yellow in it and a little red in it, that was literally, we were literally putting technology in the clothing. All right? We were putting technology in the clothing, and we linked into that energy in the clothing. This is the physics of who we are. And this is what physics is all about. And this is why we must return to the original physical properties of who we are. Physics, the nature, the science, the original science of the God. That's and it's so important that we as a people begin to build ourselves on this energy, build ourselves on this knowledge, build ourselves on the ancient properties of our ancestors. And when I say the ancient properties of our ancestors were literally creating different things of property and relativity and ionic forces and I mean, just they were just creating. And mankind came in and said, well, I want to do what you're doing. But the key point is, you know, we're not worried about what mankind wants to do. The focus is us, the original people. What are we going to do? All right. We must return to the original mindset of our ancestors and link it to physics, which is the science, the true science of the gods, the original way for us to live. The original way. This is the only way that we will ascend. There's no other way to ascend but to link into the physical properties, the physical energies of who we are as the original people of this world. All right? That is the most important part. All right? So just wanted to pass that information on to you guys. Physics, the ancient science of the gods. We've forgotten who we are. All right? We've forgotten who we are. When you start, even if you get a bowl and a spoon, and a glass bowl and a spoon, and you tap that bowl with that spoon, and you begin to link into the frequencies and see how the frequencies work with that glass bowl and that spoon, you linking into physics, which means that you're going to start thinking. It's going to start taking you to a higher mindset. Well, what if I do this right here? What if I take this pan and go bang? What is going to happen with this right here? Then you want to start setting things up. This is how our ancestors began. But we as the original people are the smartest people on the planet. We just allow ourselves to be dumbed down by society And the greatest strength that we have is knowledge, because when we start looking into the physics and start studying the different things of the sounds, when you start hitting those plates or those bowls with your spoons or whatever, that sound that you emulating or creating will begin to resonate with your carbon body, which therefore that frequencies will begin to help or assist you into becoming a more powerful being. Remember, the dimensions are only mental. Dimension. Di, which means dual or dual energy. Men, which is the mind. Shun is Sion, is Zion. Zion is the place to be. Zion, which is that place of pure energy and power. Zion, dimensions, linking into that dual mental energy. You have dual energy. You have a negative and a positive, a masculine and a feminine, a dark energy and a light energy, the angelic energy and demonic force. All mental. Linking into Zion, which is that the highest place that you can possibly get is Zion. Zion represents the pure force of the cosmos. Dimension. All right? So, just want to pass that on to you guys. I'll catch you guys a little later. Glad to be with you. All right? Physics. The original science of the ancient gods, the science of the gods. This is who we are. All power to the multi-chakra celestial angelic beings, and may chaos reign with you forever and ever. Much power to you all.